Hi, my name's Neil and welcome to Retro for You. On today's episode we're going to be working back on the Apple II that I got in that rather disgusting state, and hopefully we're going to get it back together today, get the board rebuilt, the keyboard rebuilt, etc., and get it in working condition. But who knows, there could be something wrong with it. I have no idea. Now, I never worked on these machines before, so I could make some mistakes along the way. If I do, then please drop a comment down below and point them out to me with what I'm doing incorrectly. So on that note, let's crack on and get this put back together. This is why I use PCBWay, the top quality boards delivered fast and done right. When it comes to turning a retro dream into reality, it all starts with a solid PCB, and that is where PCBWay comes in. You can start by browsing a huge range of shared community projects, and you're presented with a lot of options. The most important one being solder mask and what colour you want your boards. After that, you can also select whether you'd like an SMD stencil and, more importantly, assembly service. So if you're soldering it up to scratch, you can get PCBWay to make the board for you and send you complete. How great is that? What you need to do now is wait a few days and promptly your parcel will arrive. All that's left to do once you get your package is to open it up, remove the well packaged boards, and also what's great is you always get a minimum order of 5 boards, so if things do go wrong like they generally do with me, I've still got another 4 chances of getting it right. So from projects small to big, PCBWay is the place to go. Did I also mention PCBWay not only does boards, it also does CNC machining, 3D printing, sheet metal fabrication, injection molding. It's an absolutely amazing place. So don't forget to check out my link below, and all new customers will receive a $5 bonus. Thank you very much, PCBWay. First thing I'm going to do is get this keyboard back together. Now I've cleaned it up as best as I can. It is a hell of a lot cleaner. This had all the insects and bugs in it, etc. It does say BT there. Does that mean British Telecom? I've no idea. So let's just crack on and get this sorted. Did you notice what I've done? I've just started putting these on upside down. It should be the other way around. Now that is a brilliant start. So let's just take these off again and we'll start again. Here you can see the main board. Now it is a hell of a lot cleaner. It's been through the bath, it's all washed, etc. I do have the chips here that we actually set aside before, so these should correspond to these slots, so I should be able to build it back up hopefully. I'm just going to get my ESD band on because it's always better when handling these vintage chips, and I'll take my watch off so it doesn't ring the police. Lesson learned last time. So we're just going to quickly put these back in and get this board rebuilt. Okay, so that does look correct now. All the chips are back in, the board's built up. It does feel like it's got a slight warp on it. You can see there it sort of waggles back and to, but maybe when the actual screws and it's screwed into the case, it'll actually pull it back straight. Now this was missing before. I think it's a Game IO chip. I don't know what that is. I guess it's for a paddle or a joystick or something. I'm not quite sure. I've never used one of these before, so drop me a comment down below if you can tell me what that socket is used for there. It is J15, I presume, or maybe not J15. Just says Game IO around that area, etc. So just drop me a comment down below if you can. So what do we need to do next? We need to rebuild the power supply. Here we have the power supply. Now it's a matter of trying to get this back together, getting the cables back in. Now I did change that reefer cap last time because the other one had physically exploded. I did order some for these little reefers down here, but the ones that came were the same size as this, so they didn't unfortunately fit. But those reefers do look okay for the time being. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this put back together, and then we're going to power it on, stick some power through it, and we're going to test it at the back to see if it's actually outputting the correct voltage. Hopefully it is. What we're going to do is we're going to apply some power to this, just like so, and now we're going to check if we've got the correct voltages. So these two should be earths here, and then we should have did I turn it on? No, I need to turn it on first, so we're just going to turn that on. Now we're going to check. We've got 12.73 volt there, which is good. We have 5 volt here, which again is good. We have negative 12 volt there, which is correct. And here should be negative 5 volt, well, negative 4.85. So that voltage looks good on this power supply, and it all seems to be behaving itself. So what's next is we're going to get this put back together. We're just going to unplug it safely, and we're going to get the machine built back up. So listen to some music as I just crack on with a montage putting it back together.
What follows is a brief construction montage. We hope you enjoyed this brief construction montage.
So we've got everything connected now. I've got the 80 column card here as well, just so we can test that in a minute. Now what I'm first going to do is just plug the keyboard in. Just as easy as so, just so we can test it. Now we're just going to turn that on. We've got a beep, we've got a power light, and I think we've got a power light here. So what we need to do is hook it up for some video out and just see if we get any output at all, but that did sound quite promising. I'm set up to just turn this on and give it a go, so let's see what happens. We've got a beep and it looks like we've got a display. I just want to put that full screen. So like I said, you can see stuff here, and let's see how you're keeping the keyboard. Yes, that does actually do something. So now let's just fit the 80 column display. So I've got the 80 column display here. We're just going to slot it in and see if it works. Doesn't look too good, does it? We've still got the power light, but we've got nothing. It's beeping, but we have no display at all. So no display. Right, what I have heard is you hold down Control, Apple and Apple. Trying to do this while pressing the power button, it should run a diag. But at the moment it's not displaying anything but the power lights on here, and also the power light down here is on. So let's just take this out again. Could it bleed it? Now it's working. Try these memory slots so this all seated in properly. This is just a load of memory and two 74LS chips, so failing this we should be able to test these in the actual tester. We've got the retro chip tester. We've got nothing at all off this 80 column card. So again, if we put that back in, that seems to be working, doesn't it? So what I'm going to do, we're going to move this out of the way. We're going to get the retro chip tester and we're going to test these chips in this board. So we have the first chip in place, we're ready to test, and off it goes. So as you can see, that has passed its test. So what I'm going to do now is I'm quickly going to get them tested now, and I shall report back if we had any faults or not. This is the last one, and as you can probably see, it's test passed. So all the memory, well, all the 4164s seem to test okay. The next one we have is a 74LS374. Now this is part of the logic for this board. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to click OK and run the test. And again, it says chip OK. So I don't know what's going on with this board. Perhaps it's this last one here, which is a 74LS245. The last chip we have is a 74LS245. So I'm just going to give that a trial now and see what happens. And believe it or not, it's passed. So all the chips and logic on this, or all the memory and logic on this, seems to have passed. So I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's a slot on the main board. I'm not quite sure. So I'm just going to switch the meter to continuity, and we're just going to give these a quick buzz. So as well, they seem to check out. Am I doing something wrong? Why is it not working? This is very strange. I've just noticed something. I was actually putting the card in this way because I thought it can't go the other way because it's going to interfere with that slot. But guess what? I was wrong. I checked my video and the card came out from this way, and it actually goes over this slot here, which is a bit silly, but I guess it's a design that they did. I'm not quite sure why that is. So now when I turn it on, watch this, and amazingly it seems to be working. I'm just going to put that to full screen so you can see it. So as you can see now, we're now working and I can now type. Hello everyone. Okay, so I don't know whether that's basic or not. I presume it isn't, because let's just try 10 print hello run. Oh, it is basic. Sorry, I didn't realize it was, but there you go. That's basic and it seems to be working. So also what I found out is, well, I read up about, was there's a built-in test on this. So I'm just going to see if we can get that running to show you. It's initiated by pressing the control key and the two Apple logos as you turn the machine on. So it does look as if it is actually running. The speaker's making a bit of a strange noise, but I guess that's feedback from the test. And that is kernel okay. So that's just a basic test that tests the system. So that's looking good. I think what I'm going to do now is just get it back together and just see how it looks, because before it looked really bad. Okay, here it is in all its glory. Look how much nicer that looks. I mean, before it was a complete and utter mess. It was disgusting. And now it's it's looking to be quite a nice machine. We still need to sort out some back covers, etc. for the back. We still also need to put in the rest of the cards, but you can see now, even inside the motherboard, etc., it's looking like a real gem now. I'm quite happy with the way that looks, even though I did put that card in the wrong way. So we do have a couple of other cards to go in. The printer one here, which still needs a jolly good clean, but I also got a card here for the floppy drives. Now I don't think I'm going to do any more on this today, due to the fact that I'm going to have to install the cards and get the floppy drives working. Now the floppy drives need a good stripping down, cleaning and servicing, and we're going to have to do that next video. So what I plan to do in the next video is to strip the floppy drives down, we'll give them a service, get some discs made on the old greaser easel I've got, and hopefully have some software or some games running on this as well next time, so that should be good. But at the moment I'm quite happy the way it's turned out and the way it's progressing. Before I go, if you're new here, then please hit that subscribe button. Also, don't forget to check out my YouTube buddies down below. You got the likes of Captain Commodore, 8-bit Retro Refix and Josib. They'll do great things. And don't forget to hit that like button, as it helps the channel so much. Now I have picked up an interesting Amiga that I've always wanted this week, so look out for that in future shows. It will be coming. We just need to get this Apple out of the way. So on that note, I shall see you next time on Retro for You. See you soon guys. Bye.